I believe the budget 2020 is an extremely growth-oriented budget. The growth that is anticipated in the GDP in 2020, as per the World Bank estimates, is 3%, which is perhaps one of the highest among all GCC countries. As you can imagine, the growth is also going to be driven out of a check on the inflation. The inflation anticipated by the government in 2020 is going to be about 0.2%, which is a huge step towards having more spending in the economy, having more purchasing power with the consumers in the economy. So both these attributes put together are definitely indicating towards this being an extremely growth oriented budget. When you talk about the investor friendly attribute of the budget, you have to look at a few areas like the fiscal management. If you see 2.5 billion Omani riyals is the deficit anticipated in the 2020 budget. This has been again a huge achievement of the government over the last 4 years, right from 5.3 billion Omani riyals deficit in 2016. They've brought it down now to 2.5 billion, which is a step in the direction that allows the government to continue to invest and continue to spend in the economy. When you look at the other attributes, the legislations which got enacted in 2019, particularly talking about the commercial companies law, the foreign capital investment law, the PPP law, the bankruptcy law, are all legislations which are extremely investor friendly legislations, and most of them are going live in 2020, are going to get effective in 2020. Executive regulations are going to get issued in 2020. So, and thereby creating a fantastic environment for the investors to come and set up their businesses. Another major economic activity generator are going to be your, the 5 sectors which have been identified by the government, primarily talking about manufacturing, logistics, fisheries, tourism, and mining. So these 5 sectors are going to continue to drive the economic activity. When you also look at the 3 free zones which have been extremely active, are going to contribute very heavily in 2020 as well. The Dukum free zone, the Salalah free zone, and the Sohar free zone. The Dukum special economic zone has got huge potential, as well as a lot of committed development that's going on as we speak. The Mabruk gas find is again going to be a huge contributor towards the economic activity in 2020, which is going to see during the year that we're going to break the grounds, you're going to see contracts being awarded towards the gas to liquid project. So all these put together are going to start the economic engine in 2020 as we see it. The current budget 2020 that has been issued by the government is an extremely prudent as well as optimistic budget. At least that is how I would like to term it. Prudent, I say, because the oil price assumed in the budget is $58 a barrel, whereas the actual realization of the first quarter of 2020, as you would be aware, we are selling 2 months forward, is close to $65. So a prudent and a cautious approach has been adopted by the government. They don't want the revenue recognition and the revenue accrual to accelerate, which would then allow the various government departments to start spending beyond what is required. So I call it as a very prudent budget. I also call it as a very optimistic budget because the expenditure has gone up 2% compared to the last budget. As we all know who have been living here for so long in Oman, that government is a major contributor towards the economic activity. If the government continues to spend, definitely the economic activity tends to pick up. So government having put up the expenditure by 2% is a very positive step, which the businesses should draw from, that the economic activity in 2020 is definitely going to continue, and will continue to prosper in 2020. One more element of the budget which is extremely good is the increased allocation towards the services and the welfare of the community, welfare of the country is concerned. Steadily, we have observed that since 2016 till now, there has been a steady increase in the allocation of money towards social programs, towards welfare. And if you see in the current budget, you've got a 40% allocation towards that, which is again a very promising step. People have been, struggling to find, the economic activity increasing, and thereby job creation has been a bit of a challenge. More allocation towards social welfare indicates that the government is very sensitive towards this area. There is also an increased allocation towards spending in training the workforce, which will allow people to get absorbed into the economy a lot faster. So both these attributes indicate that it's a very prudent and a very optimistic budget.